Hotel brothers and sisters, this is part two of my series on religions and its origins. And where we left off at was when so-called John Hawkins named the first slave ship that came to the Americas the good ship Jesus. And as you see, these motherfuckers claim to be so religious. But see, this is the KKK. And what they use is the cross. They burned the cross, as a form of killing people of color. In other words, they use the religion to terminate and destroy and murder black people, primarily black men. And based on the phallus that we were talking about, now you see the crackers' obsession with the phallus, with the black man's penis. And that's why when they used to lynch us, or when they lynch us, that's the most valuable part of the black man's body that they want off one of our lynch brothers and sisters is the black man's penis. The white bitch goes crazy over that. And part of us coming over here, we were indoctrinated. Our ancestors were forced to accept this white cracker complected, buttermilk complected cracker Christ. That was forced on us. If our ancestors were caught practicing their spiritual traditions, their original spiritual traditions, they will be murdered, they will be castrated, they will be maimed, beaten, tortured within inches of their life. When these devils came over here and they brought our ancestors here, the ones who did come to this country, because once again, let me explain this to you. We were the first ones in the Americas. So let's get that straight. Our ancestors had circumnavigated the globe, meaning we were everywhere on the planet. But the trick that they use, as far as using that religion that they stole from us, get the book Stolen Legacy, George G.M. James, that they stole from us and used it, twisted it up, and used it against us, for our own destruction. And a lot of us are still caught up on that today. The books, how they were plagiarized, reformatted, telling our people that they were going to go to hell, and that suicide was a sin and all this shit to keep them from taking their own selves out, when our people didn't fear death. It was an honor to go to the next life when you stood and fought for something or fought against anything. And see, they formatted the books like, okay, if you kill yourself, then that's a sin, then you're going to hell. And that was a tool to keep our ancestors to continue to take the brutal torture, beatings, whippings, and rapes that they inflicted on our ancestors. And today it's the same thing. Our brothers and sisters whooping and hollering and jumping up and down, but not saying it's really nothing wrong if you understand, if you're clear about who you are. Now, if you know that Asar, Aset, and Heru was before and who you're jumping up and down hollering about Jesus Christ, which is Heru, to Joseph and Mary, which is Assad and Aset. When you understand and clear about that, because that's going to change the way you think. That's going to make you understand who you really are. That you're descendants from the greatest people that ever existed on the planet. Of the black, purple, blue, black Jesus. But see, in these black churches, if you put a cracker white Christ in a black church, most of the parishioners will leave. Most of them will leave. And that's the self-hate that our people are consumed with today. Because of the fear of the white man. They fear the white man. They fear the white man. But at the same time, they look at the white man as motherfucking God. When God is in you. And so once again, when you're clear about that, then you will understand, that these books have been plagiarized, that this is the actual story of Assad, Aset, and Heru prior to the Greeks and the Romans taking these books, plagiarizing it, formatted to use it as a tool of social control and as a tool to keep slaves in check, our ancestors. You remember that episode on Good Times when Michael painted the picture of a black Jesus. Florida had a goddamn fit because like she said, this is the only Christ I know. This devil, this white devil, the one who looks like the police that pulls you over, the one who looks like George Zimmerman, the one who looks like Donald Trump, the one that has raped and terrorized and tortured your ancestors for over 470 something odd years. And you still look up and praise this white buttermilk complexion, blonde hair, blue eyed, Ice Age, this snow monkey Christ. And see, a lot of y'all look at this and say, oh, you slave with the slave mind. Your slave nigga mind will say, oh, that's blasphemy. He making fun of the Lord. He making fun of the Lord. That's our Lord and Savior. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. This is just some white motherfucking devil. Michelangelo's uncle. And see, but behind closed doors, this is what the Pope bows down and prays to. The black Madonna, the black Christ. Because they know the truth. Now, if you read the book of Revelations tells you. The book of Revelation tells you that, Christ, Jesus, Yeshua was jet black, burnt like it burnt in the oven. Bronze. Bronze is brown, but burnt bronze is black. Hair white as wool. Fiery red eyes. Now, which one of these fits that description more? And this is what, for those who are Christians, this is what the Bible tells you. But see, your slave mind will point at that cracker. Your slave mind will hate the Christ, the real Jesus, the real Yahshua. Then came Islam, Muhammad, who was supposed to be the last prophet, that no one else with any information was to come behind him. And see, that's another tool of control, because when the Arabs got the Romans off the Africans' back with Christianity, the Romans were chased away by the Arabs. But the Arabs replaced the Romans and got on the Africans' back. And see, what they done was physically beat Africans into submitting to Prophet Muhammad. And I must tell you, Islam is one of the most, now, it's a very strict religion. It's a very structured religion, but at the same time, it's a highly abusive religion where the woman is nothing. And how can that be? How can that be? When you looked at the beginning of the time with the Ankh, where the man and woman were equal. It's called the gender principle. How do you think you got here? You just didn't pop up out of midair. You came through the womb of a black queen. And so, you know, when Islam came, they replaced the Romans, got on the Africans' back and forced them with the religion. Made the woman walk around wrapped up from head to toe, beheading women for looking at another man. They would get their head chopped off because the woman wants to look at the beauty that's around her among her brothers and sisters. And so that's nothing but a spinoff of Christianity. The only difference is the Quran is written in Arabic and Muhammad replaces Jesus. Same thing. Same individuals that are in the Bible are in the Quran. You know, women are nothing. Women are nothing in Islam. Have to walk 5-10 steps behind the man. Have to have their face covered up, their bodies covered up. And yet, the man has permission to beat and behead his own wife. Now, all of these other organizations, these religious organizations, come behind Christianity and Islam. Seventh-day Adventist Church, the Mormons, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the Mormons, who have been a all-white Aryan religious organization for hundreds of years, until recently. They allowed blacks into their organization, into the religious organization, which those blacks shouldn't want any parts of that organization. Karl Malone, former NBA basketball player, is a Mormon. And they have tabernacles. They generate, several $1 billion a year with all the programs and institutions and businesses that they have. The Pentecostal, Jehovah's Witness, same thing. They changed Jesus' name to Jehovah, and they go around knocking on doors trying to recruit people. But Jehovah's Witnesses is, you know, these are religious cults. They're not spiritual movements. They are religious cults. The children are constantly raped and abused, sexually abused, the boys and the girls. And what happens, they're not allowed to report anything to the authorities. They have to go to the council of elders who will make them feel like, you know, it's their fault. Telling a 12-year-old girl that she didn't give her father a correct blowjob and all this type of shit, and punish her. With this devil here, this devil who founded the Jehovah's Witnesses. And see, all of it's these religions are based on someone's personal spiritual experience. Did they think that their personal spiritual experience or religious experience will work for everybody? And so they write a book about their own personal experience. And then people begin to worship them, hoping and praying that their experience, that they will get the same experience as their leader. And it'll never happen because everybody's personal spiritual experience is theirs. This devil, the Pope and the Vatican, the Roman Catholic Church, who are in it's probably over 1 billion Roman Catholics in the Vatican City, where the Pope, who calls a lot of shots in politics, religions, and what have you. Because the Pope supports all the Italian mob bosses, all the capos, all this organized crime, and they've been doing this, that's tradition, that after these guineas kill 5 or 6 people in the inner city, then they go and make confession, go in the box and talk about how they murdered people, and they're asking for forgiveness. And this devil claims to forgives them. But who is he to forgive somebody? Because it's a religious organization, and they've done the same thing when it comes to little children. These bishops, these cardinals, and these priests, they have been molesting, violating, and murdering little children and babies for centuries, for millenniums. When they did, they went through the Vatican, because the Vatican, when you go inside, one side is 7 miles long. And they went on one side where they looked in the wall, and there were hundreds of infant babies buried in the walls of the Vatican. This Pope is wicked. This Pope is wicked. These blood-sucking white so-called imposter Jews. Now, the real Jews are black, as you know. Because if you study Assad, Set, and Heru, that story, that all the people that were put in the Bible and their names were changed, these so-called white Jews claim that they're the chosen people. These white ice monkeys who just came on the planet 6,000 years ago, they just got here. There's no timeline of when that they can estimate when we came on the planet, but it's at least 6-7 million years. So he just comes here just a few days ago. Because the reason why I say a few days ago, because 100 years and 1,000 years is considered a day. And they just got here. And how can you be the chosen people when they were, when the black man and woman were here millions of years before you all were even thought about? And based on the Holocaust, when Hitler rounded those so-called Jews up in Germany, put them in concentration camps, tortured them, exterminated over 6 million so-called Jews. And so that's where the term never again comes from. And so what the United States did was give the so-called Jews reparations. And what they did was create businesses, build banks, build all types of businesses. And eventually went into the black community and pushed all the black businesses out of the black community. But they played like they were with us. They played like they were our brothers. Specifically during the so-called civil rights movement. They held hands with Dr. King only to get what they were looking for. And when they got what they wanted, they left the black man, King and others, holding the bag. And we still haven't got ours yet. We marched with Dr. King. We held hand in hand with Dr. King. We are brothers. But we are the chosen people. Abraham. We are the chosen people. The Torah is our Bible. That we believe that we are the chosen people of Israel. And y'all not the chosen nothing. Y'all ain't the chosen shit. Y'all just like the rest of these goddamn devils because y'all have cornered the market on everything. You own and dominate the entertainment industry. You own all the music record labels. You own all the television networks. You run all the banks. And so don't tell me no bullshit, about being equal and about no chosen motherfucking people. Because Hitler knew what he was doing. And these are some more of these ice apes. And what they do is, for those who don't know, they suck this baby's little penis after they make an incision on the penis with a razor. Suck the blood out of the little baby's penis. And that has to be in a very excruciating procedure that they use. It doesn't matter if it's an infant or a grown man. Eating a penis and sucking on a penis is sucking on a penis. But they believe that they are the chosen people.
Purchase your tracks today.
These are the these are called the Hasidic Jews. With these ones that walk around with these goddamn car ties on their head, with these long black cashmere coats on. They don't believe in using deodorant. They have a stench on them that is unfucking real. With these long beards with hair everywhere, proclaiming that they are the chosen people. And to this day, our people are scared to deal with this motherfucker. Even on social media. A lot of you are afraid to call these motherfuckers out. Now, as far as the black religious organizations and movements, Marcus Garvey basically started them all in the early 20th century. Garvey, who was a stone cold leader, businessman, very, very brilliant, who didn't live a lavish life, although he could have lived like a king, but he lived in a flat and he ate canned food each night. But he had over 6 million people following him, ready to go back to Liberia. And I'll do something on Garvey at a later date, but Garvey was the foundation of all these other organizations. And we must give honor to Marcus Mosiah Garvey. This organization, the Moorish Science Temple of America, founded by Noble Drew Ali, in which they practice Islam and Christianity by calling it Islamism. And they deal with Muhammad and Jesus. And it's a religious organization where they deal with a lot of Masonic law, Masonic rule. And the organization is structured like a Masonic lodge, because they claim to be Moorish Americans. They're descendants of Morocco, born in America. This is a Moorish Science Temple of brothers and sisters. Next is the Nation of Islam, founded by W.D. Fard, which they call him Master Farad Muhammad. I'm not going to call him Master because he's a white man. Farad Muhammad, and Master Farad Muhammad, Elijah Muhammad was his leader. And this is the same organization. Malcolm X, Minister Farrakhan currently is the leader of this movement today. The Nation of Islam was a very, very powerful movement at one time. However, they have compromised with so many other people and so many other movements and organizations. It really goes against the grain of what Elijah Muhammad laid down. They allowed Chinese, Koreans, Mexicans, whites into the movement. And at one time, this was an all-black movement of militant, strong brothers and sisters ready to do whatever it took to gain equality, justice, liberation, reparations, salvation, and emancipation from the rule of the white man. But now, Minister Farrakhan is so commercialized now, where everybody's wearing $2,000 and $3,000 suits, opposed to Malcolm X was wearing thrift store outfits, thrift store suits. And it has become a compromising movement, organization. Scientology, Judaism, and dealing with the Latino community. But they're not in the community to help the black men and women out here that are struggling, that are fighting for their lives day and night. Drug addiction. None of this is the Nation of Islam is not involved in any of this in the communities. You have the Nation of Gods and Earths, formerly the 5 Percenters, led by brother Clarence 13X Smith. They call him the father, and it deals with mathematics. Clarence 13X Smith, who was a former member of the Nation of Islam, that created the 5% Nation of Islam. This is a rap group, powerful rap group, Poor Righteous Teachers. And they were 5%ers. 5%ers mean you are the poor righteous teachers, meaning 85% of the people are asleep, 10% are the sellouts, and then you got the 5% that are the poor righteous teachers that are responsible for waking up the masses. The men are called gods, and the women are called earths. And they have fed equality. They don't have to resort to any type of feminist organization or movement to be recognized that they are the black goddess. Then you have the Hebrew Israelites with brother Ben Amin. Powerful brother. I met him personally when I did the libation at the Million Family March. Hebrew Israelites, brother Captain Tazariak, General Yashada. I forgot how to pronounce his name. Yahana, General Yahana, Captain Tazariak, and others. They're powerful orators, and they're very, very well versed with every scripture in the Bible. So you got to do your homework when you come up against them. But they believe that it's only 12 tribes that God has chosen for salvation. We have the Nuwapians with Dr. Malachi York, who's doing a 150-year sentence for child sexual abuse. But he was the only one that could build a compound, a baby Kemet with the Nile River in Eatonton, Georgia. His sons, Prince York, who's trying to hold everything up for his father, and I believe he's the leader of the Nuwapians as we speak. Street Law Soldiers with Shaka Sankofa as the general. Brother Chief of Staff, Brother Harris Abdul of the Street Law Soldiers, may he rest in power.